middleman. He knows it to take money to fund. If you think the gospel is free, that means you don't know the gospel at all. It will take money for us to go to the optimal part of the earth to save souls. Salvation is free, but the expulsion of salvation is not free. Oh, of course, you know your opinion wasn't free. Can you applaud yourself for your wise decision? So we're here to answer this question. And I strongly believe as you go back to your respective industry, you be a voice, a top leader. You begin the voice that everyone is sitting under his feet for cancer. Because I strongly believe that your mind will shift. Amen. There will be a mind shift, a paradigm shift. Because if you can get it, that thing between your ears, I'm telling you, there's no stopping you. Amen. There's no stopping you. I strongly believe it's entrepreneur work. Can I have the other slide? Come on, can we say it together? Entrepreneur. Are you an entrepreneur? Yes. It doesn't matter if you just started this morning. Because entrepreneurship is a spirit, is an attitude. Yes. Come on now. It's the experience we bring. Hallelujah. Do you know recently there's what we call social entrepreneurship? Even your pastor is an entrepreneur because he helps people to know their purpose, to contribute to the culture wherever they find themselves. Yeah. Because we all are here for people. So as an entrepreneur, it's not about profit alone. Even when we make profits, we must understand what the profit is for. Wow. And one thing that has happened to us, impacted us wrongly, is inability to make decisions. And decision making has so much to do with the consumption of data, the information we have. Because you can't make a decision from a wrong place. And that's why you have to be that individual that constantly read, constantly study, read journals in your industry, and attend conferences like this. And pay for what it takes to sit with that pro in your industry. Can I release a question? Have you ever sat with a leading individual in your industry? Have you paid what it takes? The only reason I'm standing before you because anytime an individual that is winning in my industry is in town, I'm always there. I pay what it takes to sit with them. And the knowledge I get from them, because you cannot afford a conference for €1,000, and I can do that because I've been graced. I'm here to share with you the knowledge that I've received because I'm generous. I think I deserve an applause for my generosity. What I pay for, you get it for free. Praise God. So decision making is so important. And if you want my notes, because we have a lot of persons in the room, let one of my team members know you want the notes. I will be able to send it to you. Obviously, I can't give you everything in the few minutes I have. Like I said, we have wealth of wisdom, experienced individual. How they start from here and now they are there. Mm-hmm. Praise God. You can't skip process. Because some of you want to be Bill Gates overnight. And Bill Gates didn't get there overnight. Some of you want to sit with Dan Cote. Dan Cote didn't get there overnight. Because when you get there overnight, you have robbed yourself from the principle to be a mentor to other people. Because process enable you to gain wisdom and experience. And that's why when you send your CV to a company, they ask you, how many years experience do you have? And that plays a major role. And they can even employ the one that is not as qualified, competent like you because of their experience. That's why you don't skip process. You might be sitting there and say, oh, who is she? I didn't know them. Was busted chicken and none of that. We have something to say because we have checked this out. I remember the first meeting we had, we had about 5 persons. So when they had, because this is a mobile ministry, 5. And today we have raised businessmen, businesswomen. As I was walking in, I was hearing one of our mentees that have become a CEO by Raise Event. Can you put your hand for Raise Event? She did this amazing that. Amen. I didn't have to exert energy in putting this together. And the reason many of you are not scaling, you don't have the wisdom to employ someone else to help you in the area you don't have competence for, and you're struggling. Listen, when we talk about paying somebody, it's not money all the time. It's not money all the time. And if you're that entrepreneur that talk about money, you never make money because your intentions are wrong. Yeah. I know some of you don't like that. Because money is the reward of problem solved. So we focus in solving a problem. Two individuals travel to a town and saw people walking on barefoot, and one told himself, these people are not civilized. They're walking on barefoot. But the other person said, listen, there's a need here to be met. And he came to the city, and the next time he was talking with a shoe industry, a shoe factory, that went to a particular village. They walk on barefoot, and that's not healthy for them. It's dangerous. Walking on barefoot, they can contact all kind of, that's true, contact all kind of infections. I really want to help this community. And the shoe factory saw his compassion to help the community, and they said, we'll sign the contract with you. And the next thing, this individual brought the company to that village, and people start buying the shoe, and they start wearing shoe, and he's making his fortune from that. They started receiving the need, having a compassion to help people live better. That's the spirit of entrepreneurship. It's not about your paycheck. It's about meeting the need of another. Is your mindset breaking already, shifting already? Yeah. So stop asking. Start doing something. Look around you. And that's why I told you entrepreneurship is leadership. In leadership, you need clarity. Crystal clear about what you want to contribute. Not what you want to fake. I told you your mind is so brilliant. It can kill and it can bring to life. You have the cemetery in your mind, and you also have the maternity word in your mind. When God gives you an idea, some of you allow the applause of men. You think I care about not having 1,000 in the room? I'm more concerned about those that will live here and walk the principle and be better and affect their community and see things differently. We all in this room were genius. Believe it or not, I could see the genius in you for the fact you made a decision to give out your hard-earned money just to come see. Probably curiosity brought you here. There's nothing wrong about that. And I strongly believe that before you leave, there'll be answer to those die-hard questions that is burning on the inside of you. I promise you, because of those I haven't birthed. I was talking about your mind having a cemetery and a maternity word. God has given some of you an idea that you have lost, you have killed, and you are buried. Are you an undertaker? Some of us have buried more than we have brought to life. God gives you an idea, you kill it. I can't do it, I'm a black woman. I can't do it, I'm a black man. I'm from the refugee. Do I have Abraham in the house? There was a guy that they call it asylum, whatever, was inspired, and it was sent back to Liberia. And he came in contact with us. We flipped it over, we changed the page, the narrative, through the principle God is giving to us. And today, he's married with 3 kids. And he's an entrepreneur, doing business. Come on, put your hands together for Abraham. And he allow him to share his testimony with us. He's on his way. Like I said, your mind is a powerful thing. Even we, our Creator, created us in machine. think in the months they started, our creator started the weird machine. We need to think outside the box. You can bring to life and you can kill. There's an idea that's been given to you that you ignored. You ignored that idea. And that idea was meant to save community, save nation. You told yourself, I can do it. It's meant for Dangote. It's meant for Big Gates. But God love you enough and trust you with it. Because your mind is powerful. You buried that idea. You killed it. Can I call you a murderer because you buried an idea that was meant to serve a generation and a community? Many of us have crucified or buried or arrested, give life sentence to people that murder people. But some of us in the room have also murdered people. Should I call them to come lock you up somewhere? Because that idea would have fostered generation. But just be the solution we need. But you refuse to admit, you refuse to involve. Because you love yourself more than you love those that God has given you a privilege to live with. That idea has a mandate in it. It's to serve people around you. Just imagine you won't be in this room when God told me some years ago, I had nothing. When I mean I had nothing, literally collecting clothes from human resources. But now, I have my own unisex bath style. Don't you like what I'm wearing?
Yes.
Yes. I'm going to tell you behind, make sure you see me later. Listen, we dress you with your shape, your body shape, not necessarily your size. I know you've not heard that before. Because you can be size 46, someone else 5'46", and it does not fit perfectly. So stop burying those ideas. At least I have the ideas in the sense that an investor is coming. Because you can't look for an investor without an idea. What are you bringing to the table? Or you think you want to invest on you because your face is pretty? By the way, you all look pretty. I know that applaud for yourself. I love this gorgeous. Are you tracking with me? Yes. You bring an idea to an investor. When you have a box full of ideas, and when you sit with an investor next time, and that idea becomes what they've been looking for, then what they've been waiting for. But here you are, you kill it and bury it. Because self-pity. Nobody's coming to your self-pity party. No. Don't send me an invitation, I will attend. I will attend. Just do it. Tell somebody, just do it. I strongly believe as Christian entrepreneur is arising. It's our time. Unemployment everywhere. Unemployment everywhere. Do you know salary is the drug your employer has given to you for you to bury your dream? I don't care about your race. I'm not against your 9-to-5 job. You can start from there. But you can do something alongside when you close or Saturday weekends to live your dream. And that's why it has been said the graveyard is the richest place. Don't contribute to the graveyard. Use whatever God has given to you to serve the living and those around you. I'm seeing my flag up. So it is time to live the best version of yourself. And I know it is now. And I'm not taking for granted your decision for being here. You know, when we talk about communication, there's a verbal communication and there's what? You can help me? Non-verbal. So your being here alone speaks volume. Even when I've not had a one-to-one conversation with you, it tells me you're ready to embrace the newer version of yourself. And that's what you're living here with. You're living here with the newer version of yourself. And your world has been waiting. Your world has been waiting for the new you. Don't be oblivious about the shift happening in your industry. And that is why you research things yourself. Don't miss the opportunity to connect with other people. Don't miss the opportunity. Let me just say this quickly. Those of you that I will be giving the mic, hope you have a phone. Hope you have a phone. Because I'm here because somebody gave me an opportunity to pitch my business 1 minute. And that's where I discover who I am. And I put that on Facebook. And now I have to select my engagements in the sense that the meeting I attend. Some of you that came with your church heart, I'm a pastor in the pastor of our nation. But in a setting like this, I try not to clone that. Some of you that came with your church mind, your prophetic mind, if you're demon possessed, there's a room somewhere will help you. But this time, I want you to wear your intelligent cap because man is a spiritual and the body. Let's see how we can scale up and begin to help our pastors, pay their mortgages. The reason why the pastor is swearing, cursing on you, their bills unpaid. Like Jesus depended on the entrepreneurs to help him. Do you remember Jesus couldn't pay his tax and taxes? He called him Peter because he had experience in the marketplace. And Peter did help him. So you be the one. There's a solution wherever you find yourself, including your family. Including your family, your children. I was just telling my third daughter, this is not to put anybody on the spot. We stayed over yesterday. And I told them, because every birthday we go eat out, the restaurant of their choice. I told them, let's do something new. Anybody celebrating, we come here. I live in Davidson City, and my house to this place is just 7 minutes away. Tell somebody paradise shift. And I can tell you how refreshing I'm excited I am. I was in the pool this morning, probably you see it on Facebook. Sauna this morning, no time, I would have gone to do my massage. Not because I have all the money in the bank, it's the mind shift. I was telling my leadership, I said we stop expecting God for more. We have to have that mind shift as kingdom people. The unbeliever got it right, but we haven't. There's this self-sabotaging stuff going on in our mind. And let me tell you, the drug dealer will not sponsor the gospel. They won't. You have to. God is depending on me. And that's why God is with me to see my business thrive, that I scale up. He's for me. He wants me to do better. He will prefer. Come on. Can we put those hands together? He will prefer me to have a business than a guy in the street that does not care about the gospel. It's our time to pick it differently, purposefully. Let's not be oblivious about the happenings in our industry. Let's do what it says. Let's take action. Let's take action. I'll leave with the story of a man. It's a quote, actually, I really don't know who made that quote. Let's take action. How many people love ice cream?
Yes.
3 persons, and the rest of you, you're like me. I really don't do ice cream. I really don't do ice cream. Once in a while, I do. I went to a concert one time. It was really hot. It was during the summer. And I bought this ice cream, and the seller of the ice cream put the ice cream in the ice cream cone, you know? The ice cream cone, can I have a picture of that? Please, be here. Don't look for an ice cream store right now. Tell your neighbor, be here, be present. I know you love ice cream, but be here. Can you see what happened? Immediately, that ice cream got to the ice cream cone. Do you see what happened? It went into action immediately. It didn't ask the seller, should I start melting off? It didn't even ask me, the body, should I start messing up? It went to action because it's meant to melt. Come on now. It went to action. If I took a bite or not, it's going to melt off. And I will not have value for what I paid for. And that's what it will take when you leave here, because you showed up. You got to action. I'm not a prophet. It's possible God is raising a prophetic voice in the marketplace. The apostolic grace and ability to franchise, like what the Madonna is doing, Kentucky is doing. It's franchising. The ice cream went to work. It told me you'll be dropping ideas. Don't bury it. Sit with experts in the industry that know how to help. Put that idea where it can become a reality, or archive it, like I said. I told them that in church because God said that. God said that. So we take action immediately. That's the quote. A toothless man had never bitten on anything before because he was waiting. And he was reserving himself for later on. And he just knows that he's not old. And he has lost all of his tooth. When it was about, he thought he was ready to bite in something. Now he has no tooth. Because time is not waiting for you. You make a decision that every step you take is towards you making a difference in the life of anyone you come in contact with, which either way. Thank you. Can you put your hands together for Gray? You can do better. All right. Great. Wow. So don't let your 2025 be that way. It's time to take action. There's what we call action and inaction. That idea is brilliant enough. I remember when God impregnated me to write my first book. I didn't know where I was going with that. Because he told me, I'm telling you, we're going to raise 10 million in our church. And at that time in our church, we have grown now to the glory of God. We have refugees everywhere. Refugees everywhere. And God is saying, don't you can remember, right? We're going to raise 10 billion with a bunch of refugees with a direction. I took it. But today, those refugees, Dora is one of them. Can you applaud her? She was married, but we have a bunch of them. She have our own NGO running, inclusion. I'm sure she'll be part of the panel to see what she's doing. You know. So make sure every day you wake up is a positive step towards you becoming what you were designed or created for. Don't be too late to take a bite in changing the world around you as an agent of change. All right, I want the panelists, those in the panel to come. Did I understand you properly? Come. Because we tagged last year, boss chick. You know, each session we come together, we try out a team. For real, but this year is boss vibe. So I'll just quickly spell that out, what the boss represents and the vibe. Tell somebody it's a vibe, it's a vibe, it's a vibe, it's a vibe, it's a vibe. Come on out. Say it's a vibe with an attitude. It's a vibe. Come on, let like a lion, because an entrepreneur, we can learn that from the lion. Stand up, stand up. And tell somebody it's a vibe. Entrepreneur vibe. All right, boss vibe. Boss vibe, boss vibe. Okay, another panel is ready. Okay, let's have the panel. Let me give it to you, or I can give them this. You said 5 minutes? All right. The B stands for bold. Come on, as an entrepreneur, I need to be bold. Boldness comes because you're an expert, because you trust your product. And if you don't present your product with boldness, whatever you do, probably you're producing products or services, do it with such boldness, because you know the effort you have put to produce that particular product. Like Idira now, she produces a cream with a lot of medicinal and skincare routine in it. You should be bold when you talk about your products, because that will determine if whoever you're having a conversation with needs it. And the one I really want to emphasize is optimization. The O stands for optimization, because many of you are saying, you're a good speaker, even more than me. But your problem is you don't know how to optimize. You're waiting for the crowd, the applause, to be known. I don't care about Dan Cote, like I told you earlier on, I'm my own Dan Cote in this place right here. Do you get me? So optimization, like I said, if you want my notes, I'll give it to you. And scaling system. It's a system to scale. Like packaging is part of your scaling system, your presentation. A man went for an interview for a job of a janitor, and he was looking packed more than me. And the person in manager said, if this man can be this way put together for a janitor job, I think he will really know how to arrange any space given to him to mop. And that was his interview. How he appeared in the room. It shows diligent commitment to whatever he's doing. And we all know what system is. If you don't have a system, you can't go for it. And that's one thing with the Black community coming to this part of the world, we have learned system. Your company knows what to pay, your organization knows what you're deserving, because they have system on board. So we can say a lot, but that's what the boss stands for. Wow, I love that. Put your hands together. Hey, be kind. Be kind. I talked about a bold attitude of the lion already. So much we can say about the lion. I have a gift for somebody. The biggest animal in the world. Who knows? Tell me.
Biggest.
The biggest animal in the world. Elephant.
It's a whale.
And where does a whale live? The blue whale. In the water. Bigger than elephant. But we all thought it's the elephant. I'm happy you didn't say the lion. All right. We got the boss. So it's not a feminine thing. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not a feminine thing. It's not a feminine thing. So let's talk about the vibes. Tell you a little. The V stand for versatile. Versatile. Yes. As an entrepreneur, you must be versatile in your industry. Not those that are leading in your industry. Honor them. Read their journals, attend their seminars. That's one of the ways you honor them. And if you do all of that, very soon you'll be shaking hands with them. You'll be having coffee with them. Can I quickly say this? After this meeting, and if you work out a principle that this brilliant mind will be bringing on board, your next point of assignment will be with Dangote or Bill Gates. Because you don't go there on empty hand. That's why it says start an entrepreneur. Nobody's going to give you a loan. They don't trust you. You have not tested the water. The boss big seminar with our loan scheme stuff we have put together, we can help you, but you have to be part of the community. You know I'm rushing. So we talked about versatile, vibe now, inventory, and basic essential. Vibe. Again, say it's a vibe. Come on. Vibe. It's a vibe. It's a vibe. Vibe. You know, it's versatile, inventory, and basic essential. We break that down. Like I said, we are gracious and we'll be able to help you. I want to give it back to the cheerleader, the one sharing this occasion. Wayne, put your hands together for her. She's doing it.
Thank you so much. We're so privileged to have you here and to really glean on your experience, your knowledge. Come on, let's give our Dr. Faith Thank you so much, because this is a boss vibe, right? Yeah. This is a boss vibe. And this earlier during the introduction, I said today we're going to level up. Remember? So it's time to level up. It's time to really learn from each other. So right now we're going to have a panel, and I would like to invite Doreen, Anthony, Patience, Funke, and Shimango to come to the front and please take a seat. Let's welcome them. Thank you. I'd like to hand it over to Dr. Faith, please.
They all know why they the panel. Yeah. Okay, Mr. That's Chimango. He's working on something that will shape the world. So he's not going to tell us everything for now because he's still working on it. You know, I don't believe God can see songs like it because if God didn't give it to you, you don't have all the details or all the information. You can only try and try. You end up getting frustrated because you don't have all the details. But anyway, don't see everything, but just let us know how last year events, because in any gathering, you have the Datin Thomas, okay? Just to help them to open, because we have some amazing people that will be helping them to see things differently. How you conceive what we are working on now, as God blesses with events. Talk to us.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Yes,
Let us know what you do currently.
So as she started introducing me earlier, my name is Chimango.
I am Chimango.
Okay, all right. I am a civil engineer by profession.
Can you put your hands together?
And my specialty in the civil engineering field is to deal with water-related issues. So from the time we had the last post-TIC conference, I had just finished my master's degree, and I was looking for what to do next in this land. So from May last year, I started pursuing a PhD from the Technical University of Delft. That's part of growing my career. But now, besides the growth in my career, I was like, if I am in this place, what is it that I can put my effort in and exhaust the most, that it can also benefit my life and my family and the ministry financially. So I came up with an idea with my colleagues that the Netherlands is usually underwater. Some parts are underwater, and it's surrounded by dikes. Dikes are the ones that sustain the Netherlands. And if you look at it, there are over 14,000 kilometers of dikes, of which 14,000, if you were to put it in a straight line, is like a distance from here, maybe all the way close to South Africa or beyond. It's a long distance that it cannot be monitored physically all the time. But mind you, the Netherlands are surviving on dikes. It is impossible to monitor the whole 14,000 kilometers now and again. So we came up with an idea that, what if we come up with a solution that can actually monitor these dikes and tell the authorities, the Delftland or the Waterscap, exactly where to focus their efforts on in terms of maintenance and upgrades when it comes to the protection of these dikes against dike breaches or dike failure, let me just put it that way. So in doing that, we are now exhausting a solution that will actually work towards monitoring dikes and preventing floods or flood failures. Most people just know failures as floods, but floods are not necessarily the problem. The problem is the drought. Drought is the ones that can actually cause the dikes to crack when floods come. So floods are not the problem, but dikes, droughts are the problem. So if you look at it in a nutshell, you may think our problem are floods, but no, that's not it. So it was from...
Anyway, you bring a solution, don't give them the tea.
Yeah, so it was from an atmosphere like this that you get inspired to say, okay, what is it that I can do in the moment that I am in?
Absolutely.
I do not necessarily need to have all the money or all the idea, like 100% of it. But if you have that idea that is clicking in your mind, it is best if you put your efforts towards it and actually make the most out of it. So that's what I wanted to share with you today, that if you have that idea in your unique area of profession or your unique area of business, what is it that you think you can actually maximize on that can bring the most impact, not only around you, but also to those far and beyond? So it is in such atmosphere like, so this is the testimony that I'm sharing from me, that it is from being in an atmosphere like this that I was inspired to pursue that solution and approaching people with it, because we are in a Dutch land. I, for example, I don't speak Dutch, but I had the opportunity to collaborate with those that can actually speak it better and know places that I cannot physically go, maybe by myself. So if you have that idea, it is high time you started pursuing it. What are you waiting for? The best time for you to start pursuing it is now. Hallelujah.
And the only reason those people connected with you is because of your brilliant mind. Because of the idea you have. If you have no idea, they have a business with you. And we don't understand, and we keep burying that idea that makes all becomes, that solution that your community needs that makes you relevant. People don't just have relevant for anything. You must be for something to get relevant. Thank you, sir, for sharing with us. I know what you're doing, I know how far you're going, and I know how explosive things are going. But I just want them to know that in a meeting like this, something will come. Don't undermine what is happening in the room. It's your chance to seize a moment that will change your life. All right, Mr. Anthony, tell us what you do.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Anthony, that's what they call me. I was here last year as an international student, but today I'm the lead consultant for CardWorks Integrated.
Please, can we put our heads together for
One of the things that came really strong for me is that we all look around and we see problems. When I see problems, I see money. Because it's only when you solve problems that problems bring about money. So as an international student, when I came here, one of the things I looked around was, what were the challenges people around me were having? I found out that a lot of immigrants have issues around tax administration. That's a fly for me, and then I started to do that. And with the twinkle of an eye, I built a repertoire of clientele, which is big. And,
come on.
Over that, we've grown in that. But last year, coming here gave me some connections. And with those connections, I had better insight as to what to be done. Today, I have an incubating startup that we call Integrate Hub, a platform where we intend to partner with the government to understand the challenges that asylum seekers, immigrant communities, and most importantly, international students have, and how to integrate them to make sure that, yes, because that's what the government of the day is talking about, and that's a big challenge here. So we're finding a solution to that first and foremost. At the same time, I discovered that, yes, black community, we don't sell our food enough.
Come on.
We don't sell our food. If you go to the tiniest of the village in this country, you see an Asian fast food or a Russian restaurant. Why are we not having African-based outfits like that? And we have a cuisine and a food solution outlet that is working on that to make it different. But above all, one of the foundation of what we do is to drive inclusion and diversity. How do we ensure
Can we just put our hands together
and that initial is what I do. Thank you.
Wow. Listen, they have a stand somewhere. If you want to be part of the organization, I'm telling you, they have brought the mayor of the city to whatever they do. I'll just give it to Doreen to add to that. And they connected here, and he is a great resource to what she's doing. So don't miss moment. Don't despise anyone. If he gets in the room, you will never know him. You will never know him. I think if you want to add to that. Tell us about you. And how we met. And the first time we started in the hand. Wow. I want them to know.
Wow, that's a lot. Anyway, I'm Nana Scolton. I'm blessed and I'm happy. I have two foundations. And one of the foundation is about community building, networking, and it's about we coming into this part of the world, Netherlands. I respect the country because the country has been so good to us.
Yeah.
And has given us great opportunity. But it all starts with the mindset. And it starts by continual learning and evolving. So life has given us so much here. At this moment, I'll look at, he's one of my team, which we are building a big community. One of my sisters are there too. She is also part, which makes her strong and going. And I have to... Pastor Favor has been one of the most beautiful souls in my life. When I came to the Netherlands, I was married, so I was brought here. Not speaking the language, not knowing nobody here, was quite a challenge for me. But I met her just on the street. And at that time, I was going through a challenge of my life. I was not having hope I can be where I am today. With all the assets I have today, I always go back to say thank you. Because at that time, I thought the world was really not on my side. Because married to a Dutch, not speaking the language, my schoolmother, my everything that comes with it. And you know how it is. You go to the shop, they say stay in their line. Because here we don't do it like that. We do it this way, we do it that way, so I was frustrated. But she gave me hope. She gave me the reason I am today, the Nana I am, with everything. It came to a time they told me I cannot give birth. I was hopeless. And this is from the doctors. But this woman told me it is possible. It is possible. God can do it. And God is able. So at that time, I did not even believe in what she was saying. I was like, even if the doctor says no, who are you to say it can't be right? But believing, and that's why I always teach my people, my women, it starts from the mindset. Believing in something and trusting it. It came. I did not just give birth. I gave twins. So giving birth is just an understatement. I gave twins.
And not just twins, your industry, because we have for industry mother, you didn't just give birth to a human being. But look at what your NGO is doing, you know.
Absolutely. And based on that, I knew that. So I decided to build another industry, another one, which is Street Kids Ghana. And the Street Kids Ghana is for orphans. And I built them up. I gave them education, I gave them health, I gave them everything because I know how it feels to be born onto this world without parents. So that is one, and that is really doing good. And also in the Netherlands, I also have my foundation that we are building the network, we are building strong people, and I'm teaching them the Dutch culture. Because without understanding of the basic, you cannot improve. Because being an entrepreneurship, you also have to understand where are you positioned in the land and where do you want to go. So that is the two. The culture difference, you have to understand how do they think? How do you approach them? Because the opportunities are all over us, but it's about you tapping in, adapting to what is there for you to take. And that is what is happening. So please, I am here. The network is still going. The entrepreneur mindset is still around. Tap in and be positive. You can do everything. And you believe that you can do it. And please, my only advice is stop listening to people when it comes with negative. You can't do it. You are this. Why are you? Stop listening to them. Listen to your inner spirit. When you say, I am. Thank you.
That's beautiful. That's so beautiful. Please, when it comes to your task, I know in Africa, we don't pay bills and all of that. You have to have a session with Anthony, so that you can pay your bills on time. I know of a family that was owing 30 euros. They end up paying about 5,000 euros because they took them to incasso. I don't know, as we were talking, I heard that. So seek people like Mr. Anthony to help you solve that. Don't come to me. All right, tell us your name and what you do.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Funke. And I have a background in telecoms in Nigeria. And so during my time in telecoms, I discovered my passion for cooking. And then I started my business then gradually as a chef. But over time, the business grew to becoming one of the biggest bakeries in Nigeria. And so I could not manage being doing my 9 to 5 anymore. And so I had to transition into entrepreneurship fully. And then after 5 or 6 years in being an entrepreneur, I discovered.
Put your hands together for that. You despise your cooking ability. So that's why they attack. But this one is talking about your domestic, whatever you do, can be a residual income. And don't have one stream of income. I'm telling you. She had not 3, from what I heard. I have 4. 4. At least I have 2 streams of income. And you'll thank me later.
Yeah, so after transitioning into entrepreneurship, from cooking, I discovered my passion for photography, and then for planning events, and then for speaking. And so this transition into being an entrepreneur actually gave me more opportunities and helped me also to discover talents I didn't even know that was there. And then after like 6 years being an entrepreneur, I realized, okay, I needed more knowledge. And then I came into the Netherlands for my MBA in entrepreneurship and innovation. And by the way, I graduated yesterday. Thank you. And so coming into a new environment, it was, I felt really strange. I didn't know how to position my business, how to start. You know, it felt like I was starting life all over. And it became a really big issue for me until I met her, and then I joined the church. I realized, okay, there's a community. And then this also goes to show that we need community. It helps us to really, you know, blend and just get used to the environment. And from attending Bosch last year, I networked, and then I also learned a lot about you know, transitioning into a space like this. And so I went back home. I started thinking, okay, what are the challenges? I realized that for Nigerians, we're not really used to our pastries in Nigeria. And then for Dutchies, they also are not used to our taste bud. So I started thinking, okay, how can I call it a fusion? So I call it Afro fusion. So this is like, this is a blend of African and European taste. And so I had to blend the two together so that when Africans taste my cakes or my food, they can have the taste of home. And then when Dutchies also taste or Europeans taste, they you know, they can explore, and then it's something that they can also get used to. And so I'm also very grateful that this kind of meeting actually broadened my mindset. And right now I have gotten a lot of customers, and now I have that confidence to actually start my business again. So please, let's not despise meetings like this. You never know who you can meet, and you never can tell the kind of advice that you're going to get that would actually launch you into that bigger space.
Wow. Just order some things from her. I don't need to say so much. But let me tell you what order. Don't tell anyone. Be here, be present. All right. This is the part. I brought her on board to part of this conversation. She had a business in Nigeria before coming. Because sometimes, as a CEO, as an entrepreneur, we have issue in having a team. If you employ a criminal as your accountant, it's your fault. As an entrepreneur, not being able to be designing enough, probably you won yourself. You know, she had a business in Nigeria, even though she's here. Everything is rolling and going. And I asked her, how did you do it? I mean, you want to know. Anyway, just talk to us, Pat. Let us know what you do and all of that.
Okay, I'm anxious. This is my first time doing something like this. I'm always the girl that's
tell your neighbor there's always a first time.
So please pardon me.
This is your last time.
Dr. Fibo, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
For bringing me here to be part of this. Last year, I was just sitting here and looking at everybody speaking. Then I was still running my business. I came in here to study, like what she said. But then I took home with a lot of things. And then I went back to my business. She motivated me a lot. I went back and then I was strategized. And then I kept on going. But thank you for the privilege. I'm honored. Serena Interiors. When I started, I was living with my elder sister. And I had this big dream. What we do is we produce furniture. like custom-made furniture in Nigeria. I wanted to produce luxury furniture because I have the guys that can do it.
Terrible luxury furniture. Luxury.
But I didn't look
luxury of nothing.
But I didn't look it. And the customers I was targeting, they live on the highland. Me, I was on the mainland in Oba. And I was there with my sister then. So I said, hey God, how do I meet these people? I started by posting, my company has always been online. I started on WhatsApp, I opened Instagram, and then I started going slowly. So I was posting on my status on WhatsApp. The people that were chatting me were looking for furniture. They were my people, my friends. I didn't have external contacts. They were looking for furniture of 200K, 300K. I said, these people cannot afford me. So what did I do? I stopped WhatsApp, and then I went on Instagram. I moved from my sister's house. I went to the island, in one big estate on the island. And then I was staying in a BQ, I don't know, BQ without kitchen and all of that. But then why did I move? I moved because I wanted to see the people that can afford me. I was studying them, the cars they drive. Even me, I was living in the BQ. I was not among the people that are living in the big houses, but I was studying them. I studied the way the people that were coming in to visit them and all of that. But let me leave that story. During that period, when I needed to go and see a client, I was on Instagram, and most of the people that chatted me, because of the way I presented my company, big people were contacting me. When I needed to go and meet them.
That's the key, representation. Very important.
When I needed to go and meet them, I didn't have the shoes, I didn't have the car. So my boss then that was producing for me, I would beg him, boss, I beg, come with me, he had a Benz. So me, I would go as his assistant, then he would front. But I was one of the company, I didn't look like him. If I go to these people, because I know Nigerians.
Listen, you're teaching us a principle, test, right, selection, look the part.
Hopefully it works for you, but it works for me. So
connecting, like your boss. Don't do business alone. Connect with other brilliant minds. And if you're great alone, you're not great. If you're the only great person in the room, you're not. Very soon you'll be drained. So connect with other greatness to get to where you're going. And that's what you do. You're teaching a class already.
So my boss had a Benz then, and then we'll go together. He would front like the boss. Me, I would just be the one writing down the measurements and all of that. And successfully, within the first 1 year, I was growing gradually. Still, they couldn't trust me. So what did I do? I said, okay, don't worry. I posted on my page. I said, if you are ordering furniture from me, you don't have to pay anything. Imagine going to a customer and then you have to produce a full house furniture close to 1.5 million. I was doing payment on delivery. I put all my savings. I will produce the furniture. I said, if you don't want the furniture, you can return it, but don't worry. But I know with the quality I was delivering, they cannot reject the furniture because I believed in my quality so much. And then for like 1 year, I was doing payment on delivery. I will produce the furniture. I will go to the customer. What I do is
you're teaching the class. Yes. Quality. In business, they call them your what? Your UVP or your USP. Very important. Go on there.
So what I was doing to ensure that nobody had to return the furniture back to me, we'll go to the customer. I'll say, please analyze exactly what you want. So I will ensure I get the detail to the color, to the skeleton. I will ensure I produce exactly what they want to ensure that they don't return. For like 1 year, I did that. And hopefully, I did not get any return. And the same year, Big Brother Nigeria contacted me. I don't know who knows Big Brother Africa. They contacted me. And when they contacted me, I was like, oh wow. So, and then I was able to produce Big Brother Nigeria season 6, the executive lounge. I was one of my furniture. I was going to produce the furniture for the executive lounge for Big Brother Nigeria Africa. Going forward, what did I do? I've always been there. I don't know if if I call myself a CEO, I don't like the title, but I've always been the girl that is behind. I push my workers forward to be the one that fronts. So now to come back to your question, how did I survive not being in Nigeria? How did I do that? Even when I was in Nigeria, the year before I traveled, I had a manager. I stepped back for the 1 year when I knew I was going to travel. I was pushing him forward. For any measurement, anything I have to do, he was the one going, I wasn't going. I allowed him make a lot of mistakes because I know in like 1 year I won't be here anymore, you'll be the one here.
You're saying something, as a CEO, also be engaged in mentorship.
Yeah.
That's what I hear you say. Coaching. Within that industry where God has graced you to lead. If not, you'll be stuck in Nigeria. You can move. You should never took that initiative. Don't be selfish with what you know, what you have. If I was selfish, you wouldn't be seated today. And that's why this being here is so rich, and nobody can afford it. Don't tell me it's the money, your registration. You can't afford this. It's so rich. Your registration was just your commitment to what you want to become. That's what it is. Go on.
So I ensured, his name was Chima. I ensured Chima was the one meeting the customers for the 1 year I knew I was going to leave. So why I did that was because I wanted him to get used to how all the process work. And when we have two departments in the organization. We have the MDF, we have the upholstery. When there's an MDF work, I'm always, in the company, I'm the quality control person. I'm not the CEO, we don't have CEO. So all of us are all working. So when it's my part to do quality check, I do my quality check. So when there's an MDF work, the people that have the highest say there is not me, it's the MDF guys. When there's an upholstery work, the people that have the highest say there is not me, is the people that are specialized in upholstery.
Listen, sign me for my coaching program, and she'll be having a session with you. So much to unpack. Please put your hands together. And I think all she said was she relocated. And what came to mind when you said that? You know, when you buy your bottled water in Aldi, how much does it want? €1, 80 cents. That same water in the airport is 150, and in the plane is about €7. The same bottled water. What happened to it? All right. Probably we'll discuss that in the next seminar. I wanted to just give a rapid word, just big because of time.
All right. What I want to leave you with is that if you can envision it, you can become it. Because if God gave you that idea, you are the best person to implement it. So do not consider where you are at the moment. All it matters is for you to initiate and start that idea that you have been holding for so long. It is time that you bring it to manifestation.
I'll say this. Don't overlook simple things that drop into your mind. Most times, ideas come into our mind, we don't think them. Don't overlook those things, because those are the things that forms the basis and the foundation of whatever it is that would materialize much later. Because the way the spirit goes, it drops simple things in mind, we overlook them, we let them go. But you can do something, which I do. All around me in the house, there's always a board, a note, or a pen. Even in the bedroom, I have it. Once it drops, I stop what I'm doing, I just write. And then much later, I go back to that. Now, like you, if you can, cultivate that. You'll be amazed what you'll be able to get. Thank you.
Believe in yourself. And know that everything that comes within you, you are capable of doing it.
Wow.
And learn, when you are in an environment, learn to understand the people. Learn to cultivate a good network around you and think as a millionaire.
yourself, your location should not limit your abilities. If you've done it before, you can do it again. So don't let your location limit your abilities.
I will say, as a CEO, you don't have to do it by yourself. Let your workers handle it. You are paying them after all.
Wow. Listen, thought is powerful. We all think. So thought is different from thinking. Pay attention to your thought. Intentionally take that thought to the zone of thinking. Do you understand? Thought fly through our mind. Take that thought and turn it into thinking. And the Bible says, "A man thinketh in his head, so it will come." When you can convert your thought to thinking, you already have a product. Thank you for your time. Sorry for our business.
Thank you so much, panel. You did a great job. Nana, Anthony, Patience, Funke, Shimango, and Dr. Favor. Thank you so much for your wisdom and your knowledge. Can I ask you please to stand up for a second, please? If I may ask you to just stand up. Let's just stretch. Let's stretch. At the beginning of this event, I told you we're going to level up, right? What are we going to do? Level up. What are we going to do? Level up in knowledge, level up in networking, and to receive knowledge, to receive, information. We need to level up in our business. So it's my privilege now to introduce a very special person, business owner Reinier of the company Blij Leven. He has over 20 years of experience in the areas of leadership, development, personal coaching and mentoring, as well as building and leading teams around life-changing visions and projects. I didn't make this up myself. I borrowed it from him. He's also a well-rounded public speaker, and he has spoken in different countries worldwide. So it's such an honor to have him here in our midst to receive knowledge from him. His experience is going to share with us. And I've also been told that he's an author. Yes, he's an author of the book Sitting on Sunday. So please, let's give Reinier a warm welcome.
Everything starts with a vision. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Everything starts with a vision. And I would like to share with you today a very powerful but also very personal story of how something started with a vision and became a reality. And out of that, I would like to filter some lessons, and I call them crucial components that every business leader needs. So I hope that this will be helpful to you. It will not just be inspiration, but they will be very practical tools that you can apply, not just tomorrow, but you can start with those today. And I would like to start with a story of my friend Ezekiel. And I've already noticed we have some people in the room from Nigeria, is that correct? Who all is from Nigeria? Okay, just a few hands. I thought I heard more people earlier, but let's see, we have many different people from many different countries as well. So my friend Ezekiel, he shortly goes by Easy. I like his nickname as well, Easy. So, I first met Ezekiel in, this was not when I met him, but I first met him in Germany. Ezekiel grew up on the streets of Jos. Who of you is from Jos, Nigeria? Or who has family there, perhaps? Okay, some of you? Yeah. So Ezekiel was from a rural part of Nigeria, and then he grew up in the streets of Nigeria because his parents couldn't take care of him. And it's a very sensitive story as well. When I hear stories like the one that we just heard of, was it Ghana or Uganda? That someone is taking care of the children in Ghana, correct? And so we have friends in Nigeria who are taking care of street children in Nigeria. And they met Ezekiel. And at the time he was hopeless, he didn't know what to do, he didn't know where to go, he was sniffing glue, as I know is a problem for many children there. And some of our friends took him in and said, we need to dream about a better future for you. Do we believe in a better future? And so Ezekiel was taken in. This is a picture of when they first met him. And this is his story, it's not mine. But our stories, we have walked together for quite some time, so we are a part of each other's stories. And isn't that great that we get to be a part of each other's stories, right? So he grew up on the streets of Nigeria, then he ended up studying in Germany. And that is where we met, because I was speaking at an event that Ezekiel was as a student. And when he was there, he started talking to me about some of his dreams for his personal future. Then, at the time, my wife and I were living in Italy, in northern Italy, and I told him, why don't you come visit us there, and why don't you come and work with us for some time? So he visited us, and then when he visited us in Italy at the time, he started sharing with us about a dream that he had. And he said, I've been very fortunate. I grew up on the streets of Jos in Nigeria, but then I was able to study in Germany, and here I am now, traveling to all of these different places and receiving so many blessings in my life. But how can I return that blessing to the people that I have come from? How can I return that blessing to my own home, to my home country, to my own people? And some of you will know this better than I do, but when I asked Easy the first time I met him, and I said, wait, how old are you? He said, actually, I don't know, because there's no birth certificate. My parents don't even remember when I was born. So, this is a different world, and it was very new to me when I heard those stories. But what was more important is that Easy also is a dreamer. And there's a quote that I love from a person named Simon Sinek. Some of you might know him. He says, greatness starts with a clear vision of the future. So, he started dreaming about these water fountains. Water sources, water wells to be dug in the desert. And then he shared with us and he said, well, there's a problem, because you have to understand, where we're going to do this, when we dig a well, first of all, there's a solution to a problem, because there's children that normally have to walk for 6 kilometers a day that now do not have to do that any longer, because there's water in their village. That means they can go to school, that means they can spend their days differently. But he said, there's one thing that you have to understand, and that is that there's going to be a challenge of maintenance. So then we thought it through, and he said, you know what? Maybe what we can do is get some people and employ them so that they can take care of the water wells. And then he said, but in order to employ them, the water itself, I want to hand it out for free, so we're going to have other streams of income. So then he said, actually in this area, I've heard about a certain tree and a certain fruit plant that grows very well. So why don't we build a little farm around the water well? And then he realized, well, actually, and he giggled to himself and he said, you wouldn't understand this, but some of the people of where I was born, the moment they see a tree, they will think, I can burn that tree so that I can cook a meal at home. So he said, the next person that we're going to have to employ are guards. But to be able to employ the guards, the farm needs to be a little bit bigger. And all of a sudden, we went from his vision to see faces like this in the desert of Nigeria, and there was a business idea that was born around it that would employ many people in this area. So, fast forwarding a little bit, it reminded me of a quote of someone that you might know or you might not know him, and I've noticed there's many people here that do have a background in the Christian faith as well. Who of you are a part of the church that was mentioned earlier? Some people, I think it's Pastor Favor or Pastor Nella. Who of you are a part of their church? So good to see that. And some of you might know of Youth with a Mission. And the founder of Youth with a Mission, Stephen, who is here with us today, and myself, we know each other of YWAM. And the founder of Youth with a Mission, his name is Lord Cunningham, and he used to challenge us, and he said, if your dreams don't scare you, you're not dreaming big enough. So I want to tell you that today. If your dreams don't scare you, you're probably not dreaming big enough. So I want to pause there and ask you a very simple but very profound question. Do you have a dream that scares you? And some of you carry that dream, and you've been carrying that dream for a long time, and you've been carrying it in your heart, and you might not even have shared it with anyone yet. And understand me correctly, it's not always the right time to share everything with anybody. All right? You have to be wise, you have to be smart about what you share with who and when. But I want you to take a brief moment, even as I'm speaking right now, and think to yourself, do you have a dream that scares you? And maybe you've put it on the shelf, or maybe you've buried it, as Dr. Faber just said. But I want to challenge you, if you have something to write with, and I just gave Stephen my phone, but I was going to show you my phone because we all have something to write with. And maybe what you can do is just write yourself a quick email and say, remember that dream. It's time for that dream to be resurrected. All right? Say that to yourself. It's time for that dream to be resurrected.
It's time for that dream to be resurrected.
All right. This is why I like speaking to an African audience, because there's interaction.
Okay, just a moment.
So, take a moment to write it down. Even now, on your phone, send it to yourself as a reminder and make the decision that you're not going to bury that dream any longer, but you're going to talk to someone about it. And then, as Dr. Faber said, it's time to skip the inaction and jump into action. All right? So, fast forwarding a little bit. A few years later, I talked to my friend Easy again. And remember, all of a sudden at this time, he wasn't just digging wells, but then there's a little farm that was growing around it. There's people that are employed to maintain the wells, but also to build the farm, to be guards around the farm. And then one day, he sends me this picture. This is just a few months ago. And don't just look at the picture of the girl only, but what does it say in the back? He sent me that picture and he said, I named this well after you. And I said, what? Why would you do that? That is too big of an honor for me. And because my wife's name is Rihanna, so he said, this well is named after Rihanna and Anir Leiden. And then he said something that really touched me. And he said, so now there's a number of different wells in different cities and different villages that he's building. And many people's lives have been impacted. Many children's lives have been impacted. And now he's saying, and now these children can go to school, but the problem is there's no school in that little village. So that's the next thing that we're dreaming about. And he said, the reason I named this well after you is you were the first ones. I've shared this dream with several people before, but you were the first ones to tell me it's possible. This is possible. We can do this. And that is why I want to challenge each other today. This is not just about you can do this. But when we hear a dream that someone shares from a place of vulnerability, when they maybe you're the first one that they took the courage to say, today is my day, I'm going to share this dream with someone. And do you know how easy it is to squish that dream, to kill it and to bury it? But when someone comes to you with a dream like that, what are you going to do? Are you going to say, oh, easy, forget about it, that's too hard. You live in Germany now. You need to build your own future here. Are we going to tell them, oh, there's no money for this, there's no, people, I don't know any people that have money, I don't know any investors, I don't know any this, I don't know any that. Or are we going to say, this is possible, and how are we going to do it? So the question that we need to ask each other is, not can we, but how can we? And when someone comes to you with a dream from that place of vulnerability, don't just say, oh, that is great, how can you? But let's make it we. So who are the people that we are running with? And so everything starts with a vision, it starts with future. And then it is about who are we running with. Basically, the word that I love is family. Not just biological family, but who are our people? Who is my inner circle? Who's the people that I network with? Who's the people that I build with? And this is so important to think about. So I want to ask you, if you're still writing along, who are your people? Who is your family? Who's your tribe? Who's the people that you build this vision and this dream with? Does anyone know the book Good to Great? It's a really great leadership book. No. You've heard about it. I see some people nodding. So the author is Jim Collins, who says, first, get the right people on the bus, then get the wrong people off the bus, and then get the right people in the right seats. So a lot of people think they studied very successful companies for a very long time. Not just good companies, but great companies. And then he said many people have this idea that to be a great company, you have to have this superhero leader. You know, some of them have been mentioned, and they are doing amazing things. We think of a Bill Gates and people that are in great positions to make a huge impact. But he said, really, the greatest companies that are doing the greatest for the longest period of time often don't have that one superhero leader, but it is all about team. They don't even just start with a vision and then we do it, but they have this general idea about a dream and a vision, and then they get the people on board so that they can flesh out that dream into its detail. And everyone that's on the bus, as he calls it, isn't just told what to do or where to go, but they become owners of the vision. They become owners of the dream. So he says, first get the right people on the bus, then the wrong people off the bus, and then the right people in the right seats. So this is what it's all about when it comes to family. Who are your people? Who are you working with? Who are you dreaming with? Who are you building with? So, who are your people? Think about that for a moment. If you want, write it down. Write it down for later. Think about it the next moment that you're by yourself. Who are my people? I think this is such a key question to be asking ourselves. Brian Tracy, does anyone else know that name? He's also another author that is he wrote 70 books, all on the topic of leadership and entrepreneurialism. Is that a word? I didn't grow up speaking English either, but it sounds about right. It's a word now. Thank you. So he wrote a book, and it's called Eat That Frog, which talks all about doing the hard things first. And one of the things that he says is, it's on the screen here, a goal without a plan is only just a dream. So we can become, if it's only about the dream, we can become daydreamers. We can create illusions. But we need to have a plan. We need to put in the hard work. John Maxwell is another famous author on the topic of leadership, and he says, dreams don't work. The dream is not going to do the work for itself, right? Dreams do not work unless you do. So it is all about putting in the hard work. Well, here's a picture actually of Easy again with doing the hard work. He isn't doing the digging himself, but with the right equipment, with the right tools. But it is about putting in the hard work. So we talked about the vision of the future. We talked about who is your family. And that is about the fruit. The fruit is what is the result going to be of your hard work, the hard work that you put in. And then I'd like to think in alliterations because it helps me remember the words that I talk about. So future, family, fruit, and then I want to talk to you about finance. Because without finance, we're not going to get a lot done in this world. And I know some of you, I had a conversation with Mevrouw Martina, where are you now? And I know some of you are wondering about investments, where do I invest, how do I find investors? And that is a much bigger topic, probably for another time to talk about even more. And I want to encourage you during this time, during a day like this, talk to other people about that. You know, we just heard from some different business leaders here. I love learning from other people. I like reading books, but to me personally, it works a lot better when I just hear personal stories. And when I get to talk to someone and I say, okay, how did you move from that dream, from that vision, to a plan, to the right people, to action? Where did you get those investors? And as it was said before, how do we prepare ourselves so that when we meet someone that is an investor, that we can tell them what the dream is and invite them, not just to our dream, but that we can say, how can we make this our dream, corporate, together? And so, obviously, there's lots of different types of investors, investing, different types of investors. There's some key elements that, you know, what I believe is that investments are always supposed to build something. It is not just something where you put your money and see what it's going to do and then pick it up later. Unfortunately, I see people with an interest in investing that also kind of treat it in a way like it's almost a gambling machine. Does that make sense? And I want to really encourage you, and I think we live in a time that you can literally just invest from your phone, but I want to I don't want it to sound like a warning, but I want to encourage you to be wise about it. Because I do have some friends who thought they were investing very wisely, but then ended up losing a lot of money. And so there's lots of scams around as well, but there's some principles there, and that is that we need to, when you think about being an opportunity for potential investors, or when someone is thinking about making investments, I would say the first thing you would need to look for is transparency. For investments to work, there needs to be trust. For trust to work, there needs to be transparency. You need to be able to see what you're investing into, and if you want to be an opportunity for investors, they need to see what they're investing into. Are you still following that? The other word that came to mind is integrity. I love this description for integrity. It says, integrity is when you are when no one's watching. Who are you when no one is watching? Are you still the same person? Are you still doing what you say you do? Are you still behaving in the way that you pretend to do? Does that make sense? And we need integrity and transparency for investments to work. For investors to be able to invest in you, or for you to be able to invest into something or someone. Not just financially, but also with your time. For us personally, we always like to think about this. I'll just share a few personal principles. We love thinking about how can I invest my money, not just into some great vision, but we always like to keep it personal with people that we know. But out of the income that we're generating, we set apart one part for personal savings so that we can invest in our own growth, but also invest in our own relaxation or go on a holiday with our family. There's a portion that we set apart to invest into other people that have business ideas, other people that we believe in their dream. But also we set apart a portion to simply just give away. And we say, you know, I don't need any return of that. I just want to give that away because I want to also, as I said in the story before, I have been blessed and I want to be a blessing to others. And so here's another quote that I really love, and this is from probably the most famous investor that we know today. Can someone guess his name? Yes, you guessed correctly. Warren Buffett. You know, he has an amazing track record of investments. You should look him up. Another name to write down, and you can find all kinds of things about him. But here's what he says. He says the best investment that you can make. You're nodding, so you look like you know the quote. The best investment you can make is exactly investing in yourself. And he says the more you learn, the more you'll earn. So that is a powerful statement, I think. And I'm reading this book by someone. He's also a little bit out of the box, so sometimes I feel challenged. Sometimes there's ideas that I don't really like and appreciate. But he's a bit of a funny guy. And does anyone know about Shark Tank? Yeah. So there's an Australian version of Shark Tank as well, and his name is Sabri Subi. He's quite well known in Australia apparently, and has a big marketing company. And he says basically the best investment that you can make